Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and you are listening to another episode of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in one, two, three galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I would just call the show Online Marketing Moves. We're coming to you live today. Today is May the 30th, 2025. Ladies and gents, happy birthday to my mother. She probably don't want me to say her age, but she is in her 70s. Well, we ain't spring chicken, so she'll be all right. She is 71. She is 71 today. Very exciting. She just came from the Great Buffet, Grecian's Steakhouse in Missouri, Sikeston, Missouri. So if you see my mama out and about in Southeast Missouri, say hi to her. Tell her I said hello. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important show for you today. Listen, ladies and gents, if me and the Island Boys can make content, anybody can do it, okay? I just want to put that out there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important show for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am holding a screwdriver. You see this screwdriver? I got this from the bingo. You see this screwdriver? I got this. I don't know about you, but have you ever been to bingo? Where I'm from, bingo is a fun time, okay? Uh, I grew up in a little city called New Madrid, Missouri, a big city called New Madrid, Missouri. Probably one of the biggest cities in Missouri. Next to you got St. Louis, you got Kansas City, and then third, as far as big and lovable and huggable, you got New Madrid, Missouri. Okay, but in New Madrid, they like to do bingo, and the first time I ever went to bingo, before we get into today's topic. When I went to first time I went to bingo, I was 16, 1995. Story time, kids. I was 16 in 1995. I went to bingo. In the first game, the first time I won $80. And in 1995, kids, you were rich, okay? In 1995, I thought I was rich. I remember I took my $80. I bought me a watch. I still have $48 left. I went and got me something to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, I was living high on the hog at that point in my life. And after that, things took a mighty tumble. But ladies and gentlemen, I said all that just to say happy birthday to my mama. I enjoy bingo, and I got this little mini screwdriver that you see on the video. If you're not watching the Online Marketing Moves videos, then you are missing out, okay? We record the podcast. We upload it in the audio form. We upload it in the video form. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the TikTok. We are on the YouTube. We are on the whatever. We are going to be on the Facebook after tonight. The Instagram. We're going to do a new, because I like my little Instagram. My friends, they send me stuff on my little Instagram page, so I don't want to give that one up. So I will create a new page. It will be Tony, and we'll probably just put Tony D. Rizano, because I like saying my whole name sometimes. So we'll probably just make it Tony D. Rizano, and then we'll start uploading clips and all that, and that we will get a Facebook page, and we will start uploading clips and all of that stuff, and we want all of y'all. As I told you once, if I ain't told you once, I told you twice. The whole goal of all this content creation and all of that is not to, I see these, you know what? Today's Friday, gents. I see these people when I upload my stuff on TikTok. I like TikTok and all that jazz, It's a tool. These are all tools, the internet is one media, okay? Now me personally, I see people, they're like, oh, faceless content, all this old jazz, Man, don't nobody, I'm scared to show my face. I mean, it's all nonsense, faceless content. I mean, you could do that. That's cool and all, but it's the reason why people, they got their heads all in the I try not to curse, but they got their head all in the damn camera, they want to be seen, they want to be known. Man, listen, if you create content If you create content, which is what I do, and I just had to learn that. If you want to create content, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. You feel like you feel like I can find an audience. There's the audience for me. This is why you create content. No joker is creating is no no joker in the right mind would just do this to be doing this. You do this for a purpose. Now I'm not saying, oh, like my little Instagram page, that is clearly not for that is not for consumption. That is not for public. It's just me and like 30 people that I know. And I have an Instagram account. It's not a big deal. People I know from the Navy, people I know personally. And I'm not saying that I can't get to know you, person listening to this show personally, but that Instagram page it's only used for two things. My wife sends me stuff. My friends that I was in the Navy with, we have a little group chat. That's it. Okay. But all this other stuff, this is all for the public. Okay. This is all to get and the main goal is to get the email address and to let you know what projects, what things, what links to click, go to the website, go to this, go to that. You need copywriting work for this, for that. All of this has a purpose. So whenever people say, they got the damn stupid TikTok on, and they're like, oh no, you could do faceless. Go to I see it pop up. I keep scrolling by it, and it's like, go to Canva, get a free account, sell a $47 project, blah 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 blah. Listen, you got to stop believing these. You got to stop believing certain people. Okay, you can create a product. Don't get me wrong, but who's gonna buy that product? You got to make sure you have a product that people want to buy, and people want to buy over and over again. Listen. You don't want to get into the one night stand business. One night stand business. You know what that means? Every day you're trying to go meet a new person, sleep with a new person, and you got to do it every single day. Listen, the main goal of anybody, everybody, every joker, every clown, every smart person, every dumb person that's online creating content, everybody, you know what they want? They all want the same thing. They want you to come back over and over and over. Please watch my content over and over and over. Buy my stuff over and over and over. You want an audience. You want an audience that's gonna keep coming back. You want people that say, I've seen this play 5 times. I'm gonna watch it again a 6th time because I like this play. Okay, that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. To say, to be faceless, or to be nameless, or to say, this product, man, listen, you want regular customers. Everything is you have to look at it like this. Everything is a store, okay? Everything is, you want Walmart. I used to make a lot of deliveries to Walmart stores every day. You would be walking. It didn't matter what time of the day I went in there. Early in the morning, 10 o'clock, they had a bunch of people walking in and out. Late at night, had a bunch of people walking in and out. This is what you want in your online store. This is what you want in the business that you are trying to run. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter, if you're if you do affiliate marketing, you are trying to get brand deals. You want people to come and view your content on a regular basis. And of course, you want more people to view your content, and there are plenty of ways to go about that. There's plenty of ways to do it. There's a strategy. Don't get me wrong. I know this. You know this. You already know that. But just to say, you see these people, and I don't mind putting stuff on TikTok, but man, it is so stupid, man. I get annoyed. Man. It's just like, you see the same, they do the same thing. Oh, I'm trying to feed my family. Blah, 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 blah. Damn, man. What? Feed your family off TikTok? Come on, man. Hey, shut that shit. Yeah, shut that shit down at any point, man. You depending on that? No, 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 no. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the crux of the show today. Okay, that was just a little rant, but we are going to get into the heart of the show today. Today, we are going to talk about prison talk, ladies and gentlemen. Prison talk on a Friday, May 30th, 2025. Hey, you saw they free Larry Hoover. Free Larry Hoover. They've been screaming free Larry Hoover since I started listening to hip hop music, okay? Free Larry Hoover, Larry Hoover, Larry Hoover. They free Larry Hoover from the federal indictment or whatever he had going on. But he might go to jail in Illinois for 100 years. Who knows? Larry Hoover's like 70 something. But what I'm telling you, Larry Hoover and Todd Chrisley, they both got freed by Trump. Why did they get freed by Trump? Marketing, because their names kept being out there. In the case of Larry Hoover, his name has been, free Larry Hoover has been around since I was, like I said, since I started listening to rap music. So, I think on Big Meech, Larry Hoover, I heard Rick Ross say that. And we all know Rick Ross is we all know Rick Ross cosplays as a drug dealer, but he any person that like free Larry Hoover, they have T-shirts. People in Chicago probably like free Larry Hoover. I've just heard the name over the years. He started the Gangster Disciples or something like that. And I don't keep up with a lot of Larry Hoover. I just know that they've been screaming free Larry Hoover. So the marketing for Larry Hoover, his name has been, his name has not been dead in a long time. His name has been out there. They keep throwing it out there. Hey, what about Larry Hoover? Hey, what about Larry Hoover? Oh, let's go get Larry Hoover out of jail. Oh, let's go. Let's give Larry Hoover the pardon or whatever. And so, Trump, the king of marketing, Donald Trump, your 47th president. If you ever want to learn marketing, just study Donald Trump. I don't care what politics you have. I don't care what you think political wise. It doesn't matter. If you want to study marketing, you can learn a lot from Donald Trump. It's amazing. But anyway, he said, "Hey, I'm a free Larry Hoover from the federal crimes or whatever, federal pardon or whatever." And so Larry Hoover, thanks to marketing, thanks to rappers, thanks to the city of Chicago, thanks to his family, they kept his name alive for 100 years. And finally, he's got the federal pardon. Maybe he'll get the state pardon. Maybe he won't. Who knows? But they let him go. And Todd Chrisley, if you don't know, Todd Chrisley was on a show called Chrisley Knows Best. Todd Chrisley, it seems like a very fun-loving guy. Me and my wife, we watched the episode or two. I went home one time during a Christmas or something like that, and my mom, they was doing a Chrisley Christmas marathon. So me and my mom, we watched 2 or 3 episodes, and my mom was cracking up. My mom she'll laugh a little bit, but she's not a key kind of woman. But she was howling away with Todd Chrisley, and she said that's a funny man. And so Todd Chrisley, he went to jail for tax evasion. Him and his wife, or tax fraud or something like that. But him and his wife, they went to jail. Their daughter kept, she started doing a podcast. She kept the name out there. She kept saying, my parents, free my parents, free my parents, free the Chrisleys. And sure enough, in the middle, I could swear, I said, man, I don't know if Trump's leaving or what, but I thought he just got here, but he's doing pardons pretty early. But of course, this is his last term, so he's in effort mode, I guess. But I say all that to say, marketing rules the nation. Okay, listen, because listen, I worked at the prison, ladies and gents. There's a lot of people that go to prison, and there's a lot of people that go to prison, and it's sad. But after a while, it's hard to, somebody's been in jail 40 years. You're not gonna really. Most people are not gonna be able to keep a relationship with a person that's in jail for 40 years. You know, people, your family, they start off strong. They mean well, you know, but then your name sort of just goes. Your name just sort of goes. It's like being what's a candy nobody likes? It's like being Boston baked bean. You ever had that candy, Boston baked beans, when you was a kid? Uh, I did not enjoy Boston baked beans. They always look like they collected dust to me at the store, but I could be wrong. But I was a lemon head. I was a lemon head person, but you could be Boston baked beans, and you could just sit there on the shelf. You know, your name is not floating around because it's like at the store. The hot products, they're always up. They're always, hey, check this product out. The products that ain't selling, they start going further and further in the back. You start seeing less and less of the product, and then eventually they make their way to the back. Dun dun dun. And then there's a popular rapper whose cereal started. I remember delivering loads of Walmart cereal up front. Okay, by the time I got done delivering loads, a few months, that them cereal went from more towards the front to the cereal section, back, and by the time I got done delivering my loads of Walmart, them cereal were collecting dust in the back. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how your name is. When you go to jail, if you're in jail for like 20, 30 years, you get a life sentence, and nobody's really screaming for you. Nobody's really trying to, be like, hey, get this guy out of jail, blah 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 blah. Then your name is going to turn to dust, and that's going to be it. But if you can get people who to champion you and keep screaming your name and keep swinging away and keep fighting Larry Hoover, Larry Hoover. I remember Kanye was like, hey, Trump, you need to let Larry Hoover go, blah, blah, blah. And, the Christies, they had a name thanks to their reality show. And so their daughter had the leg up and she could start a podcast and people would listen. People like, hey, how's your dad? How's your mom? They need to really, and they champion, Not, listen, we all know most people that go to jail, they need to stay in jail, okay? But I'm just telling you that if you feel like your family members being unjustly done, and you need to keep screaming free, Ray Ray and Larry and Carl, then you should definitely do that, because when people forget your name, you are going to be dust, okay? And this is the reason why you should not be thinking about faceless, you know, faceless content. It's sort of like, not to get off into another subject, but I guess we will. Today is a good day today's a good day to rip it, to grip it and rip it. But there's a lot of you see people, they're like, when people are like, don't sell. You could do this without selling, And listen, we are all salesmen, I'm gonna say that until the day I die. We are all salesmen. We are all trying to sell ourselves. I am here selling myself to you. You don't have to sell yourself to me. I am trying to sell myself to you. I am trying to grow a bigger audience. I am trying to get more people on the email list. So I am trying to sell to you. Okay. And so, you want to have your podcast to be good. You want to have your podcast to be entertaining, blah, 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 blah. We all know the tricks and all that, but we are all salesmen, you have to sell yourself to your spouse. You have to sell yourself to your children. You have to sell yourself to the people you work with. If you are a boss over at your job, you have to sell yourself to them. If you own a radio station, somebody wants to come in there and they say, why should I work, you're going to be a radio personality. You have to sell yourself on why you should work at, V103 or, so forth and so on. We are all in the business of trying to sell ourselves to somebody. Okay. And so You see these people all the time. They're like, you don't have to sell, you don't have to tell, blah, 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 blah. Listen, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is, okay? That's all right, man. If you gotta, you know, you don't, you know, and besides, before you even have to before you can sell, you can there's prep work. There's, you can frame stuff, you set stuff up, okay? Just like the copywriting services that I'm going to start writing people and emailing people and telling people and sending people stuff. I'm going to write a bunch of articles. I wrote one yesterday. You can check it out if you want. It is on Medium. We write a lot of articles on there. We write a lot of poetry on there. But I'm going to start writing more and more articles so I can show people. I can say, hey, here's my portfolio. Here's my samples. But more importantly, one of the reasons why that I started creating more and more content, doing more shorts, doing more videos, showing my face, is so that you want people to know you, like you, trust you, blah, blah, blah. Listen, sometimes, I don't want to seem preachy, and I know sometimes we have to. You gotta say, you gotta just say what's going on. But a lot of stuff is one on one. You gotta be somewhat. You gotta be entertaining. You just can't sit there and say, now the most important thing. No, I ain't here to talk to you. I ain't here to talk down to you. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to hold your attention, make you think, all that jazz. We're here for all of that. Okay. But yes, we are creating more content. We are uploading more stuff. I wrote an article yesterday about, getting the audience before you write, because on Medium, there's so many jokers, writing. And once again, just like TikTok, man, this is twice today. But we gonna do it again. On Medium is cool and all, but Medium is just a platform where you can upload your stuff. And I wouldn't get too carried away with trying to make, $10,000, $20,000 on Medium. Maybe before you could have, but now it's so bogged down. So many there's so many jokers, and they all write the same thing. How to make money on Medium, how to make money on Medium. You know how you make money on Medium? First things first. Right, William. Right. Market yourself, get an audience, and go from there, But read the article that I wrote. It's very exciting, I wrote it for you. I wrote it for you. I wrote it specifically for you, anybody who's listening. Now this show has went on for 23 minutes. And now I need you to do me a favor. I'm talking to you. You listening to this show. I need you to listen from 0, 0, 0, 0 to all the way to the end, okay? Stop playing. Don't make me look better. The algorithms. The algorithms. We need them algorithms to look good, okay? The algorithms. Yeah, we need the algorithms to look great, okay? And so, that's it, ladies and gents. We're gonna wrap this short. We'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, free Larry Hoover, free Todd Chrisley. And if you got a cousin, if you got a family member, a brother, a husband, anybody locked up in jail, oh yeah, the January 6 people, look at them. People just kept waving their flag. Free January 6, free January 6 people. And Trump got all of them up out of there. So, marketing does rule the nation, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Well, God rules the nation, then after that, marketing is second best, okay? If you ain't marketing, if you're not marketing yourself, ladies and gentlemen, then what exactly are you doing, okay? My name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. Ladies and gents, as I told you before, go to Spotify, download all 950 something episodes. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're doing more videos. We will be doing more videos. I got my camera ready, I got my microphone. I got everything. We're going to be editing. We're going to be doing all that. We're going to be promoting an affiliate link starting on Monday. So we need you to click that button, look at it, sign up. You know, and of course, as you well know, when I do affiliate links, I could be compensated for them. So you've been warned, ladies and gents. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, but the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, I say all that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go download all the episodes. The most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, sign up for the email list. Good God Almighty, what are we waiting on? Sign up for the email list. I am going to say that until I'm blue in the face. I am going to go on other people's podcasts. And I'm going to say that again until I'm blue in the face. Sign up for the email list. We will have the TonyRizzano.com website. It won't be the greatest website in the world, but we will have it up and running in the next before July. Okay, but go ahead now. We have, you know, we have a landing page that you can go to. You can just put in your name and your email address, and we would greatly appreciate you signing up for the email list, ladies and gentlemen. For the month of June, we need 1,000 people to sign up for the email list. Okay, 1,000. So be one of the 1,000, and so we are going to make that happen. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, everybody, peace.